Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com and find yourself another podcast you want to listen to. And check out our sponsors, Strap and Roll Soap Company, as well as Tape Armor and Rolls Gear. I'm Rob, and today we had an amazing guest on. We had Dedeco Almeida, 5th degree black belt. God, the stories this guy had is amazing. We really got into some crazy stories, so I really hope you enjoy this episode. And don't forget to like us and subscribe to us on iTunes, give us a rate and review, find some of our old stuff at bjjshow.com, and buy a t-shirt and a patch. So just go ahead and hit record and we'll get into it. But man, this coffee's pretty good. I'm glad to have coffee here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, and I'm here with 5th degree black belt, Dedeco Almeida, and he has been gracious enough to come on the podcast, talk about, well, pretty much everything at this point. So, Dedeco, thanks for coming on.
No, thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Love it. Thank you.
Of course. So, we're at the Origin Immersion Camp pretty much. This is day, 5, 6, 5, isn't it?
You get lost, right?
I know.
You get lost on the days. Yeah, that happens to me too. Yeah, you get lost. You just get lost on the days. I think today is Sunday, Monday. Today's Friday, right? So day 5, day 6. Yeah. No. Yeah. Hold on. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day 6.
Oh my God.
Day 6. Yeah, we got lost, man.
We
it's
did.
Crazy, yeah.
But it's a good time. So
it is awesome. Yeah, it goes too fast in my opinion.
Yeah. Already, I'm having a great time. So you've been coming, when was the first Origin camp you attended to?
The first camp when we start was in 2012. Actually, no, let me go back a little bit, which a lot of people don't know. Our first camp actually was supposed to be in 2011.
Right.
It was going to be me, myself, it would be Pete, Alexei, and my student Rafael Formiga. Probably, you guys know who he is. He's very well known, right?
Yeah.
So it was going to be us four, teaching the first camp. But what happened is in that year, we got a really bad storm, a hurricane, and it was right on the weekend of the camp. So we ended up having to cancel the camp that year. So we didn't have it. And it was going to be something crazy anyways. And we couldn't do it. So we had to postpone for the year after.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was around, Hurricane Sandy or whatever it was?
It was something. I don't remember what the hurricane was, but it was something. It was bad. So we couldn't do it. Even the camp kind of hey, we can't have it. So we had to cancel. Then we came up and did it a year after.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. So you've been here since the beginning.
Oh, it was our idea, was my idea and Pete's idea to start this camp. One day because the camps actually used to be in Brazil. Most of the camps, people used to go to Brazil, and we started about maybe having one, in New England. And we actually look for a couple places. We look a couple places in Mass, in Rhode Island, in New Hampshire. But the prices were just crazy. We're like, come on, we don't want to overprice, the people that were looking to come. Because honestly, we are doing the camp for us. Mm-hmm. So we could train more, right? Yeah. We could be together more. And because we love each other company. So, and then we found Maine, I was like, Pete, why don't we do in Maine? Can we find something there? So Pete put the things together and how everything started. Matter of fact is, the first one, 2012, was supposed to be in the Cape Lauren that we are right now. Really? But a lot of people don't know this. We're supposed to be here where we are having this one, but they had a problem. They had a flood in their kitchen, so they couldn't have. We had 1 week to find a new camp. Then we found a camp on the other side of the lake that called Camp Vega. Yeah. And we've been going there. That was where we have been going for the past 6 years. But then we decided to move here because we really thought that camp started to get too small. No, I won't say small. I don't like to use the word. But I think, what our goals were, or back then, I don't think that camp would be able to handle. And that's what we moved here.
Yeah, because we have 2 mat spaces out here already.
Exactly.
Huge spaces.
Last year was already like we had 150 people. And that was like, we saw that it was kind of getting uncomfortable.
Yeah. So you've been part of the immersion or the Origin experience since 2011.
Yeah.
So what about how'd you get started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was between 13 to 14 years old.
Okay.
And what happened is this, growing up in Brazil, I had a lot of like anxiety problems, like anxiety to go in the streets, anxiety to walk. It's people know how, Brazil, if you don't know where you're going, it can be dangerous. And so I was having a lot of anxiety, and the anxieties became like a panic attacks for many reasons. I was afraid to go on the street. I was afraid to do everything. I was afraid in school. I started to be afraid of everything. And my parents, they brought me in a bunch of psychiatrists, psychologists, and things like that, until they brought me to this guy. And this guy I had a couple friends that they were doing jiu-jitsu already, right? But I tried the karate, didn't work. I tried judo, didn't work. And I didn't try jiu-jitsu. So my parents, they brought me to this guy. And this guy, he was a psychiatrist. We were in the room for 1 hour. And he's talking to me. And after an hour, he called my parents in the room. And my parents he's like, okay, what should we do with him, right? Because it was bad. I'm talking about like, now it's easy to talk, but it was pretty bad. And my parents, the doctor, the psychiatrist turns over to my parents, said, listen, he doesn't need medicine. He doesn't need nothing like that. He wrote in his card, his business card, he wrote a name and a phone number on the back of the card, and that was De La Riva. And he said, put him in this martial art called Jiu-Jitsu. And I had friends doing jiu-jitsu already, but I didn't know much about it. So they like, okay. He's like, that's definitely going to help him. 3 months later, my life changed 180 degrees. Like, everything was gone. The panic attacks are gone. My confidence went up on the roof, and pretty much saved my life. Let's put it this way. And that's when I started. Yeah. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost 30 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. I didn't start serious, I start like everybody starts. You start slowly, here and there. I was very young, here, training there, enjoying. But like 16 years old, when I started to take it really serious, like 16, 17 years old, that's when I start to get serious, like very serious about it.
What was the training like back then for like crazy. 16, 17?
Crazy, man. Crazy. We really look to, our goal was kill each other every day, rip the head off every day. It was crazy. It was like for example, many times we were grappling and we ended up on the lobby on the concrete. We didn't stop, and somebody started screaming, De La Riva, like, stop. Then we stopped it, but we didn't want to give a position, so we used to turn to our friends, like, hey, pull to the middle. So they used to come 2-3 people, drag us back to the mat, so we didn't lose one position. Man, it was crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, a war. Every match was a war. Every match we were like working hard.
Did you find like a lot of injuries happen usually?
Oh, thousands. You saw how I walk. I wasn't smart. That's what I tell my students today, and my teachers like De La Riva, Liborio. Everybody used to tell me, man, hey, Dedeco, take a break. It's okay. Give some time. The only time actually I stopped training when I had a couple knee surgeries. I have a bunch of injuries, but that's when I stopped training. And even with that, I was still going to the gym and drilling. Like I had a knee surgery. One time I had a knee surgery and my left knee, I think, 2 days I had the cast on and I was in the gym drilling already. Like that was ridiculous, right? My other knee, I did too, but it was more meniscus. It was as bad as my left was. 15 days later, after my surgery, I fought the state championship, the Rio de Janeiro state championship in Brazil in a purple belt, and I won 15 days after my surgery. Yeah, that's how we were like. And honestly, please don't do that. Don't do that. That's wrong. I was totally wrong what I did, and today I'm in pain for. So I try to pass that to my students all the time. You have an injury. It's okay to rest. You are hurt. It's okay. Don't come into class. Come and watch. Don't do anything. If you get in a weird position when you grapple, tell your friend, hey man, let me get out. It's okay. That's what I try to tell them. Yeah, a lot of injuries.
Say, but you still run. There's still going to be people.
Oh, there's still going to be people that I won't listen, and they're still going to go 100%. And then when they turn 44 like me, they will understand what I was trying to save them from. But they still go anyway.
Awesome. So you've seen a lot of progression coming from, like you said, killing each other every day to now running a camp in the United States. When you first, like you said, getting serious after winning, the Rio championships, did you ever foresee jiu-jitsu progressing to this point?
No, never. To be honest to you, never. And I think we owe a lot to IBJJF. We owe a lot to Carlos Gracie Jr., not only all the Gracies, of course, but we owe a lot to them. Some people, they don't like IBJJF, they are against what they do, whatever, but we owe a lot. I think he kind of like organized jiu-jitsu. If it wasn't him, jiu-jitsu wouldn't be what jiu-jitsu is today. I think he really, really organized everything and made it grow, made a sport. And no, I really didn't. I never thought about it would become what it is today. No, I knew it would grow, but you have no idea that it would become what it is today. Of course, MMA fights, all the organizations became more professional. So right. People start, because when I started jiu-jitsu, and back in the day, jiu-jitsu was really like, people used to look it down a lot because the fights on the streets and everything. And those like, the Grace family, the first generation, should I say, of jiu-jitsu, they had to fight a lot, man, to prove that jiu-jitsu, I'm very thankful for them. I think we're very fortunate. Everybody that I practice jiu-jitsu today should be. I think a lot of people forget that, that we are here today because of what they did in the past, and I think a lot of people forget that. And, they fought, man. They fought for us. They fought for the prove it that what jiu-jitsu is, and they made what we have today.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, they had to prove it and everything. So
everything.
So with like you said, all of the MMA and the fighting and stuff, I know Vale Tudo was huge.
Was huge.
Did you ever get to participate or watch?
I never. Oh yeah, many of them. I was a training partner for many of those fighters, like Minotauro, Belfort. Man, how many? Paulo Filho, how many? Ricardo Arona, all those guys. I were there training spot. I never fought, but I was there to helping them. So I were there training partners to help them. Yeah.
Wow. So you were like there with like during a lot of the Pride stuff then too.
Oh yeah, man. I saw everything.
Oh man.
I saw everything. Yeah. I was there every single day with everyone. Minotauro, he's a black belt under one of the La Riva students, Guilherme Assad. Guilherme Assad was one of my main partners in De La Riva, training partners. Alexei. So he used to be with us all the time. And Minotauro was his student. Minotauro, he used to come to my school. I was a brown belt when he started coming. Yeah, Minotauro.
Wow.
So I saw the whole thing started. Yeah, when Pride started, I was pretty much there for that. I never went to Pride. But I was there every time they were training for it, every time they came back,
Wow. Because Pride was rough stuff too, because I think it was...
Pride was crazy, man. It was crazy, yeah.
I mean, the only thing they didn't allow were elbows.
Yeah, Pride was crazy, man. You could do pretty much whatever you want, and it was a bad. You remember? I don't know if you remember that, but they had a really bad blood between Shootbox and Brazilian Top Team. So they had a huge thing going on between them. So that was a war, man. I'm telling you, it was a war back in the day.
I'm gonna show you a tattoo you might not like.
Oh, why? You were shoot box? Oh, that's cool. No,
just a little bit. I was like, oh God, no! Please don't kill me. Don't kill me.
It's funny. They had it at the bad blood between, but they respect each other so much. Yeah. So it was that thing, but they really respect each other. And I think that was necessary back then to grow the sport, because they made what pride became.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that was very, very, very. The guy that taught jiu-jitsu at Shootbox, Cristiano, he's a great friend of mine. And he's, I think, was very important for the time. I never had a problem. Like I really admire everybody. I think everybody. I get along with everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were talking about that on the way up here. Just people like to talk. But I mean, that's like you said, that's kind of like really what brought, because you're like, oh shit, Ricardo Arona is gonna fight,
Yeah, he fought Shogun, yeah.
And like those are the
Vanderlei,
fights.
that was the fights that I went crazy.
Yeah. And those, because I remember right when I first started doing jiu-jitsu was when it was, Pride was at its biggest.
Oh, was it that time?
Me and my little white belt buddies, we'd all like sit in front of, sit in front of the TV watching.
And they were crazy, yeah, man. It was crazy. It was a crazy time. It was very good, but it was a crazy time.
Dang. But yeah, like you said, it's just respected, but you can still have that rivalry.
Oh yeah, they had a little rivalry, but now everybody's friends. They all get along. They all doing things together. It's pretty cool. And everybody was young. When you're really young, man, you don't think you think straight. You think you were invincible. You think you were Superman. When you were 20 years old, you're like, man, nothing can happen to you. That's what I think.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, you get older, you realize
you start to like pick your battles. I think as you get older, you really choose your battles.
Yeah. So going from, that's already a crazy journey right now. What got you to the United States?
So I had my first opportunity to move to USA in 1996. De La Riva was going to open a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school in Orlando.
Okay. And
what happened is I came here with him, but I got homesick. So I was so young, and I was on the top of my career, in Brazil. I was like the top of the wave. And I already had a couple students that I was coming up and doing well in tournaments. Formiga was one of them. They were like, it was a good team that I had, the young kids. And I missed them like a maniac. I felt I was, they became orphans, even I left somebody good on my place. Wasn't me, wasn't my kids. And I was young, I was 20 something. And so I went back, I couldn't stay. So in 2000, Liborio moved into the United States to open American Top Team. And when he moved, a group of guys moved with him to Florida to start American Top Team. He invited me to come with him, and I didn't come. I said, you know what, I don't want to go. My life here is, I was single, everything was like, and my students were really becoming like something. I wasn't competing that anymore too. I stopped competing like around, I think 2000, 2013, I don't remember, but it was around those times.
Yeah.
Because I started focusing more in my students. My students were getting, what happened is when I had my first student winning a Brazilian championship, which was the biggest tournament, and it was Brazilian championship in the words. I had my first student winning the Brazilian championship. I was like, holy cow, these kids are getting good. And he won, I think was a lightweight division. And he had 8-10 mats, and he submits everybody. He looked great. And I look at that, I said, you know what? I started to see that my students start to have a future. And I'm like, you know what? I want to focus more on my students and make them better, make them a champion. So that's when I kind of put myself off competition, which I think I did too young, but I don't regret any minute because helped me with becoming an instructor. Training people, see their needs. And so in 2000, I didn't come. So in 2003, I got married. I had my school. In 2004, Liborio called me again. And he's like, listen, man, I need you here. I need somebody here to help me with the gi, like the gi part, because that's my passion. And he's like, I said, you know what? I'm going. So I told my wife, we were married for 1 year, and that was crazy because we just, had our apartment. Like, it was a brand new apartment that we bought. Was in front of the beach. And my life was like surf in the morning, jiu-jitsu in the afternoon. My life was like, man, I cannot tell you how unbelievable it was. But I said, and I had a good number of students. I think I had about 200 students back then. And I wasn't even teaching anymore. I had already like 20-something black belts that was under me. So my students that I became a black belt, right? And they were already like making their names too. At that point, I had students that they were a world champ already. They were this. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. So we moved to Miami, me and my wife. And then we got homesick. But I didn't want to go back to Brazil. Yeah. I said, Annie, no, we got to find somewhere. So we had an opportunity in Boston, in Mass. And that's how we ended up there. I told Liborio about it. Liborio, listen, man, you're going to be the first one to bring the American top team name out of Miami, out of Florida, should I say. Yeah. No, we haven't opened American top team outside of Florida yet. So I was the first one. I opened American Top Team Boston, and follow the footsteps how American Top Team was supposed to be. Yeah. And we took a while, but we did things right, and that's how I stay. It wasn't easy, but that's how I stay. Yeah.
So what are some of the struggles? Because I know a lot of people kind of romanticize opening a gym, like, I'll open a gym and people just will fall in.
I'll tell
money
you.
From the sky.
I'll tell you the struggle. The first one was the guy that this guy had a school in Mass, right? So he told me that he had 40 students and he was going to move to Miami, to Florida, because his son had some kind of allergies. Be honest with you, I think he was bullshitting me, to totally be honest to you. But so I listened, whatever. So when I moved, it wasn't 40, it was 40 students.
Four.
Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I think he was a little off.
Yeah. Oh, by a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Then the place he was teaching, he told me he was paying a rent $300 a month. When he left, the first month, the guy comes over to me and said, actually, it's $800.
Ooh.
Oh, the guy's a totally scumbag, what he did to me. But I said, I'm screwed. What am I going to do? I ended up talking to one guy that I was my partner for a long, long time until I bought him out. His name is David Jacobs. And he's a dentist. Actually, my wife works for him. My wife is a dental assistant today.
Oh, shit.
And
that's what my wife does.
Yeah, oh, it is. Yeah, that's crazy. And she works for him today. And he, on his office, he had a basement. And the basement was empty. And he's like, Dedeco, if you want, you can put mats here and teach here. And I'll charge you the $300 a month that the other guy said he was going to charge you. Yeah. I mean, he didn't need the money. He was more looking to help me. And that's how I start. But I moved to USA with $100 in my pocket and 5 gigs.
Wow.
Because I was going to stay in American Top Team in Florida, and I had my salary, I would have everything, but I didn't want to stay. So when I decided to move to Boston, the body said, you can go, but you're not under my wings. So you're pretty much on your own. I'm going to give you the name, and that's it. And remember that with no English. I didn't speak one word in English, just hi and bye. Any conversation between hi and bye, I didn't understand. So my conversation was hi. They used to talk with me for 10 minutes, and then I said bye, and I couldn't understand shit. So that's how everything happened. So I had to, find jobs, like working, like it got in a point that I was working in a BJ's overnight, landscape during the day, teaching jiu-jitsu, and work as a bouncer in a restaurant. So I pretty much I think I was sleeping maybe 2 hours a day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and my wife was working at Dunkin' Donuts, probably 12 to 16 hours a day too. Yeah, that's how we got here. And it's funny because I come from money. My parents, they doing very well. My father does very, very well. I mean, my apartment was in front of the beach. And I never asked for one penny for him, because I want to prove it to him. I want to prove it to myself, not to him, because my father offered me money many, many times. I want to prove it to myself that I was able to do it on my own, that I wouldn't need any help, any monetary help. Would it be easy to just turn to him and say, hey, Dad, send me $10,000? And he would have like, okay, boom, done. But I didn't want to do that. I said, I want to do everything by myself. And Annie, same thing, like she's on my wife's family, my brother-in-law, he's the Brazilian ambassador in Indonesia. So they coming from a good thing too.
Yeah.
And him is the same idea, And my wife, he jumped with me and said, okay, we're not going to ask for money and we're going to do it. And worth it every second.
Really?
Yeah.
And now you got your school out there.
Now I have 2 schools. Right. I own 2 schools. I'm about to open my third one that I own. I don't have partners, in my schools. And myself and Alexei and Pete, we are the head instructor of an association called New England United. Mm-hmm. And we have about 30 schools under us. Wow. So we are moving well. And plus, I'm a co-owner of Origin. So
I say that's pretty good.
That's yeah. And everything started with $100 and 5 geese.
5 geese. And oh, man. Excuse me. So now
I talk too much?
No, it's perfect, man. It's like, that's why you have people on the podcast want to hear about all this stuff.
Sometimes I talk for hours. Right?
No, that's perfect for this. No, I promise. It's awesome.
Yeah, make a sign. You're like, shut up, Dedeco. Shut up. No. Talk too much.
I was just gonna ask, so did you see any? I know we usually kind of comes back to jiu-jitsu, but
of course.
Did you see a difference between Florida jiu-jitsu versus New England jiu-jitsu, or is there just kind of it's all?
No. Jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu. I don't. Some people say it's a difference. No, I don't see any difference. I see skills. Yeah. Skills goes by a person. I have people that I come from California to visit me, and they suck. And I have somebody coming from a town in Pennsylvania that they ask me the name. Hey, I ask them, hey, what is the instructor name? And I never heard of the fucking guy. And the guy looks great on the mat, I think jiu-jitsu is a person, it's a skill. The same way that it's many levels of black belts, many levels of brown belts. So I don't believe that. Did you see a level in jiu-jitsu from Florida, from California? No, I don't. I think the level, it's in the person. You're gonna get guys really good. You're gonna get guys that train jiu-jitsu 7 days a week, twice a day. So guess what? They gotta be good. If they're not good, they suck. You agree with me, right? It's any sport, anything.
Well, I meant not so much as are they good or not, but up here maybe focuses on a lot of wrestling takedowns, whereas some places focus on a lot of guard work. Or
I think it goes by the school, by the instructor lineage too. I don't think it's actually, for example, my lineage, it's guard. I play guard. It's bottom game. If you go in another lineage, might be more takedowns type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it depends a lot where they coming from, to be honest to you. The lineage that they are coming from. That's what I think. It's funny. I don't get a lot of wrestlers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I get some, but more high school wrestlers.
Yeah.
But I don't get a college wrestlers, right? But one of our affiliate schools, he has tons of wrestlers and division ones, unbelievable ones. The guys are the best. Oh my God, the guys are unreal. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's area maybe. I don't know.
That's possible.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, because like you said, that's kind of, because I know up north wrestling's such a big thing. You think there'd be some carryover, because what happens after college wrestling? The Olympics maybe, but then you get grappling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean,
would it be not similar, but a little closer, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, yeah, no, I don't get many wrestlers. I get wrestlers, what I said, people that I done wrestle in high school, middle school, whatever, junior high, but I don't get those college wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? I think I have 2 college wrestlers. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, only 2.
Wow.
That I can remember. I might have more, but that I can remember right now.
Yeah.
It's only 2 in my school, not my team, my schools.
So that reminded me of something. Have you ever dealt with, like, back in, you're talking about people, maybe some rivalries, some other, have you ever had another martial arts guy come in? No, thank God, no. I had people coming telling me like their background. Yeah.
But I never had somebody coming that I can remember and challenge me like free speak. You know, I had some people coming from another styles and like, hey, can we grapple? But not, hey, I want to grapple you, want to see that I'm better than you, your martial art sucks. No, I was, thank God, I never got anybody like that. I'm very thankful for that. No. Yes, I got people that they coming from another styles and they like, they come to do a class and then they grab. I have students like when the grapple start, I always ask them, hey, do you guys want to grapple? Yeah, I want. And sometimes they're like, oh, can I go with you? And I usually tell, no, go with my student over there and see how you feel, and then I might go with you after. So usually, sometimes, most of the times they cannot do well and then they like, oh, I'm not even try the other one. So usually that, no. So, I never had, no.
So it's like mostly respectful then?
Oh, very.
That's awesome.
But you know what I think too, Rob? I think it's the way that I receive them.
Yeah.
When people come to my school, when people, I'm such a very well open, and I try to be as nice as I can, as polite as I can, which I am anyway. I treat people, I treat people the same way that I like they treat me or treat my kids or my wife. So I'm the same. And I think because of that, it kind of breaks down a little bit. It's funny. I have people coming in, to my schools every single day, like ask information, to visit. And it's so funny, many people, when they walk through the door, I see many people with the chest up, they try to walk. Because I tell you, it's true, it's for 2 reasons that people walk like that in your school. When you see people going through the door, by my experience, they are acting like this for 2 reasons. Either they're gonna pump their chest as hard as they can because they are so scared what are they gonna find inside there, so they gotta show that toughness right away, or they're gonna come very humble, and those are the ones that I'm really scared of. Those are the ones that I'm like, man, this guy might know what he's doing. When they come to cocky, I don't worry about. Usually they don't know what they're doing. But if most of the people, so what I do, every time I have somebody coming to the door, I receive them always with a big smile, and I think that breaks like 50% of that tension that they coming for that first, because it is scary. I was scared too. I tell people this all the time. I say, guys, I was a white belt too, and I started jiu-jitsu for one of the worst reasons. I was having panic attacks. So I was afraid of people. I was afraid to walk in the street. So for myself to step inside of a jiu-jitsu school, that was terrified. So I know the feeling, so I get it. And I try to help people to break that feeling.
So, excuse me, coffee's real good, right? So, like you said, you got the guys coming in, kind of disarm them right there with a handshake, smile, telling people, hey, look, it is scary to come in here. What do you find the majority of reasons, like the biggest reason usually for people who come in to do martial arts, either like adults or kids?
For kids, 100% discipline and self-confidence. 100%. Bottom line. Self-confidence and discipline. 100%. So I'll say confidence and discipline, right? For adults, most adults, they enjoy for many reasons. It's funny, so many reasons too. And I always ask why. Why did you decide to do jiu-jitsu? What happened? He's like, because I'm tired to go to the gym. I'm, I retire now. I don't have nothing to do, and I heard jiu-jitsu is awesome. And it's just like, I use it for a self-defense. It's funny for adults. It's so variety, the amount of reasons why they want to do it. For kids, I'm talking about my school. Okay, maybe other people have a better answer than I, but in my school, for kids, self-confidence for sure and discipline. Adults, I should say, they are just tired of working out, and they want to do something more fun, something that they can, progress, but gets tired lifting weights. That's the feeling. But it's the funny is that I hear all the time is they come for that reason, but then they find a family. And that one, man, once you find that family, you don't leave anymore. That's what I think most people stay. It's because of that family, that environment. What I said, I don't know if you remember when I gave Pete his second degree. Yeah. I said that, and I was like, man, this sport is so crazy jiu-jitsu that, you meet somebody from the other side of the world, like from Germany, from the other side of the world. 2 hours later, you look like you know him forever. It's just jiu-jitsu bring you these bonds, and I don't know what it is, man, but they do bring that bond between you and the jiu-jitsu people.
Maybe like the whole suffering brings closeness in a sense.
I think, jiu-jitsu people are so relaxed, it's so relaxed, so like, I don't know, man, this martial art has something.
And that was something I know people have talked to me about because I started Taekwondo originally. Mm-hmm. And I joke, I always say this, I joke on the podcast about doing the PAL, yes, sensei, all that. And there was a part of it, and I still love it a bit, because my sisters both run a school. But I like this because, like you said, it's relaxed.
It's relaxed. Jiu-jitsu is relaxed, and jiu-jitsu changed a lot. So when I start, do you know how we used to do the warm-ups? Just with our gi pants and a shirt. Our top gi used to be on the side, and we just do warm up with our shirt and pants and stretch, like jumps, whatever. Then when the drill time came, the technique time came, we put our top and start the class. Start the rolling. Yeah. We didn't bow. You just come like, when you get in the school, you're late. What is used to go to your instructor, like De La Riva, you always kissed him, he kissed us back. Jiu-jitsu is another thing that we today they don't do anymore in Brazil. I think they still do, but we used to all kiss each other. This thing was like real, like the family feeling, and that's how we used it to be. But with the years became more formal, so we started to bow, we started to get a little more organized, because it was like you didn't even know who the teacher was, because he was wearing a shirt and a gi pants on the mat,
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a place for bowing and stuff like that. I agree. But like I said, like now I kind of look at some of the people that I would have be able to talk to, and like even in Taekwondo as a black belt, like I made up to 3rd degree. There's still like such a separation sometimes, like, oh, that dude, he's only a 3rd degree. Like, why are you talking with these guys? Go on.
No, jiu-jitsu doesn't have that. No, jiu-jitsu doesn't have that, man. Jiu-jitsu is no belt separation. No, never. Yeah. If they go in a school that is like that, you're in the wrong school. You're in the wrong school. Please get out of there.
So for people who may, well, first off, if you're listening to this and you don't do jiu-jitsu, maybe you should start. But
please,
like while you're listening to a BJJ podcast. But what's something? So I've had to move a lot, and excuse me, just kind of trial and error, seeing like a new school to move to. It's an unfortunate part of life. Sometimes you got to move, as you know. Yeah. What are some things somebody should be looking for when they kind of look for a new school?
So the good part in nowadays, internet is there for. Google is there to kill everything, right? What I would look, it's this. My advice is always that. Search the guy. Doesn't mean because he's a world champion, he's a good instructor. That doesn't mean, some people, they know how to fight, they don't know how to teach. Yeah. So if they have both, it's perfect. Then that's the perfect crime. But search the instructor. make sure that he's related with the IBJJF. That's very important today. Make sure your instructor is related with the IBJJF. The IBJJF is doing a great job and, update the instructors page, the instructors everything. They're doing a great job to see who's real, who's not. You just want to follow under the main organization of Jiu-Jitsu. But the most important part for me, go to the school and observe the students, because the students tell a lot about the teacher. So if you go in a school and you see all the students, they act like an assholes, they act like tough, trust me, the students is always a reflection of the instructor. Of course, if the guy has 20 students and one act like an asshole, that's different. But he has 20 students and 18 act like an asshole, and two are very nice, and something is wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I suggest this all the time. It's fun. I get people all the time messaging me about students, about like, hey, what school should I go? What do you think about this guy? And my first answer is always, go watch a class and pay attention how the students treat each other. That's going to say a lot about the school, because the instructor, he can try to sell to you. If he's a good salesman, he's going to sell to you. People today sell DVDs, sell all these things, And if the person is a good salesman, he's going to talk you to. So many people, they are selling you without you feeling. That's what scares me, is those people that they are talking to you, trying to sell to you, and you cannot even feel that they are selling something. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So my opinion, honestly, is watch the students, because the students, they won't try to sell you anything. That's the good way to find out. It's funny, in my school, I tell people to come and try 1 week free.
Yeah.
Because of that. I have some people, they step at the door, hey man, I want to sign up. I want to be here. I want to sign up. That's what I say. I say, no. You get a week free. Wait until the end of your week to make sure you want to do that. Because I want the experience how the students are. Because the students says a lot about the schools.
Perfect. Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
So I was
never thought of that, right?
No. Because it's usually like, you kind of read an instructor sometimes, but then like I've been to a school, I'm not going to name it.
No, of course. Yeah. I don't name it too.
Yeah. I've been to a school, instructor seemed cool, and I was getting like my arm cranked. I was like a no stripe white belt, getting my arm cranked. I'd tap, they'd hold it on. We were doing takedowns and stuff. I took some kid down, went to help him up, and he slapped my hand away and said, fuck you, asshole. Like,
see,
I was like, what is going on, man? But I was stuck. I'd signed up, did the contract.
That's what I'm saying. Look the students, observe the student. Trust me. That's the way that I do. That's the way that I tell everybody, because if you see by the students how they run the school.
Yeah. So for now that we've kind of talked a bit about the past, let's talk a little bit about the future. So what's the future hold for you and Origin? Maybe any exciting stuff you think is going to happen?
Man, I think Origin, we have
that you can put out.
I mean, I'll be honest. I know. I'm more on the jiu-jitsu part of Origin.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things happen that I can't say. I mean, you saw the factor, the things that I showed you. Man, we get so many goals. We get so many things going on. One thing I can tell you for sure, the movement that we start won't stop. The movement on making everything in America, bring everything back here, won't stop. It's going to keep getting bigger and stronger, and we are getting more people involved. And that's pretty cool about it. It's pretty cool to be part of that, saw how that starts, when me and Pete, Pete created Origin, then, I came in as a partner, like, I don't even know, I think a week later, I don't even know. It was like right at the beginning. We didn't have anything. When we decided to make everything in America, it was crazy. We had 1,000 of people telling us that we are crazy, that we were not going anywhere. And it's funny because I always knew we were going to be big. I always knew, and I always told him, like, Pete, don't worry, we're going to get there. I can feel it. It's funny. I think it too, because in Brazil, I saw the biggest gi company ever in the world. It's called Atama.
Yeah.
So the owner of Atama, he was my student in Brazil.
Really?
Yeah. His kids, they were at my wedding. They were a great friend of mine. I was a sponsor from Atama since they started. I had the first Atama gi in Brazil. Yeah, they were sponsored. They were looking for, they want to sponsor, I don't know if I remember the numbers. I think it was 4 blue belts, 4 purples, 2 browns, and 2 blacks. I know I was one of the blue belts that they chose.
Yeah.
And his kids, his name, it's Mauro. And his kids, Marcelo and Daniela, they were training jiu-jitsu with me. Now Marcelo and Daniela, the owners, they run the whole thing. Yeah. But I know the whole family, and I saw how they start. I saw every step that they went through, how they did everything. So when we did the origin, I said, Pete, I know how we did. I know how they did. We can do better.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how everything. A lot of people don't know that because I'm the silence partner. I'm the one that I don't know. I'm not the one that I talk that much. So.
Yeah, and Atama's been around for forever.
It's the biggest one.
Yeah,
it's the biggest one.
And I think it's pretty interesting too because something we catch a lot of emails about on the podcast page and on the actual email was people ask from overseas asking to make gis for real cheap.
Oh yeah, I get it all the time.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about. It's the only gis made in the U.S.
The only one, yeah. Nobody else does.
That's crazy.
We are the only ones. Somebody might start it, but they got a long way to go, man. Yeah. It's not easy. We're still improving, we're still learning, and we're still making mistakes, but we fix them. We own our mistakes, and we fix them. I think that's huge about Origin.
And that's something I've heard a lot of,
We don't blame anybody else. We own our mistakes, and we make better.
Yeah, especially customer service, because I've heard nothing but good stuff about the customer service of Origin.
We try to be on top of everything.
So was that something you guys want to do, kind of to also set yourself apart? Is doing everything made in the U.S., like the weaves, everything, and then having amazing customer support on top of that?
100%. Because I think you gotta treat your customer like the only one. He's the only one that I have. Like my students, I look like my students. I treat my students. I have a lot of students, and I treat each one like they are the only one. I know you're gonna say that you're lying. You can ask my wife or any one of my students. They are here. Ask them.
I will.
I know all my students' first name and last name, all of them, and it is a lot. I know all of them. I make sure I know their names and the last name because I think that's at least what I can do to show them my appreciation. No, call them, hey, what's your name? No. I know their names and their last name. And one thing that I'm a pain in the butt about in my school, all my students need to know their partner's name. It's important because nobody likes to call, hey, I don't. Nobody likes.
Yeah. Everybody likes hearing their own name.
It's good. How you feel when I called your name right away, right?
We
have 400 people here, and I come over to say, "Hey, Rob, what time?" Right? It feels good. Same way when people come over to me, "Hey, Dedeco," and I get this camp. Like half of the camp don't even know who I am.
That's wild. That's crazy to me too, man.
It's crazy. They should get a little more information before coming to the camp,
No,
but
I agree. And
it is what it is.
That's why that was another selling point to me because James, Big James or Little James, whatever you want to call him, he told me it's not just getting to hang out at the factory. It's like you've got 5th degrees.
Oh yeah,
degrees,
it is. But some people never done jiu-jitsu before.
Yeah.
So they don't know better than that. But I still think they should know at least the names of the instructors.
Just
at least the
look
name.
At them. Yeah.
I think so. When I go anywhere, I make sure I know the name of the people. But it is what it is.
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Hey, you're the guy teaching it, so you're all good.
Yeah. It's a funny story at this camp too. One of the people there came over to me. I was eating, and she's asking me. It was a female.
Yeah.
Hey, is that your first camp too? I said, yeah, it is. She's like, oh, mine too. She's like, how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu? I said, about a month. She's like, me too. And then she saw me on the front, she's like, oh.
Whoops. Yeah. It is kind of funny too.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
Because I know we talked about the Globetrotter. Had Carlos Machado.
Yeah, you're talking about
Yeah. So same thing happened. He's off to the side, just plain clothes. He's putting his gi pants on, and some girl comes up. Hey, are you new to jiu-jitsu? Like, how long have you been training?
What did he say?
A little while.
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah. So he probably was pissed. He was more mad than I was. No, I just made a joke. But see what I'm saying? I think like you go to camps, it's okay. But listen, you go to a jiu-jitsu camp, at least try to. I don't know how they. Like I went to college. I went to law school, right, in Brazil. And I made sure I knew the name of my professor before I stopped. I walk in the room, like I got the list. Okay, that's the one that I'm going for this. This is the one that I'm going for that. It's not hard. The list was everywhere, right? You just look and say, oh, it's going to be this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Don't recognize them, which with internet today, man, come on. You can find you and think about it, right? So I think they should do, I think it's a little more respectful. Let's put it this way. Yeah.
Because you guys have put in a lot of work to get where you are, and now you're teaching
7 years. We didn't start overnight. We started, the first camp was pretty much, we had 25 people, 18 were my students maybe. Wow. We had, So we had only students and friends that I came, and that's how we got moving,
And what was it? You guys were
2012.
Yeah, in like a yoga room or something like that?
No. We had in a gym room, gymnastic room. It's so funny. It was those bouncing floor, which I'm gonna tell you, the best mat area that I ever trained in my life.
Really?
Do you know that gymnastic floors, they're really soft and then bouncing?
Yeah.
Now put a mat on top of that. Do you know how comfortable that thing is? Man, it was the best ever. Somebody could throw me in the air. You don't feel anything. You bounce. It's unreal.
Wow.
It was very comfortable. That part was very comfortable. I love it. I love it.
Did you guys do anything crazy, like really just throw each other as hard as you could?
No, we didn't do that. But it was comfortable on the body. We love it.
And then just, I guess, like you said, it progressed and got bigger from there. Right?
And it got bigger from there, yeah.
Crazy stuff. Any thoughts on a winter camp, possibly? Or
I know Pete said something, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to happen. We're talking about sometimes, but I'm not sure. That's something that we say, but I don't know if it's really going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope it does.
Gives me an excuse to come up more than
it would be cool. It's cold, man. Oh, you in Germany?
Germany,
yeah. That's cold.
Well, I mean,
it's not bad. Here it's freezing. It's freezing.
That's what we're talking about. Like, they're saying like, oh yeah, you need snowmobiles to get through here. Like in Germany, they're like, oh, the roads are plowed. The only thing is just staying outside and just being angry at how cold it is.
No, it's cold, man. It's cold.
Fuck. Yeah, I'd be down maybe 1 year and be like, oh, I'm excited to sign up. And I get here and be like, nah. Awesome. What have I done? So, Dedeco, before we finish up, is there anything you'd like to give anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Anything you'd like to put out in the universe to all of our listeners?
No, man, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Absolutely.
I think it's great what you guys do. Everybody that I love is jiu-jitsu, talking about jiu-jitsu. I love it. And what I just tell, everybody there, guys, enjoy jiu-jitsu, train jiu-jitsu, enjoy jiu-jitsu. I've been doing for 30 years. I can't live without. Change my life. My life is surrounded by jiu-jitsu. My kids, all my friends are from jiu-jitsu. My kids train jiu-jitsu. Their friends are from jiu-jitsu. It's an awesome sport. It's an awesome family. What I tell you, have fun. Don't be hard on yourself. Have fun.
Awesome. That's good advice. And I think I need to take a little bit of that to heart myself.
Yeah, do it. It helps. It's going to help. Rob.
Well, once again, Dedeco, I really appreciate you taking some time out.
Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an episode of the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Remember the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com. Find yourself another episode you want to listen to. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company, Tape Armor, and Rolls Gear, and find all of our old episodes at bjjshow.com. I'm Rob, and I'll catch you guys next time.